Thank God I didn't get tackled by the Green Goblin.
Thank God Willem Dafoe didn't come and tackle me. Actually, no. Anyway, we got to move on from that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Question
Answer?
And guys, we released the first episode. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but
we did. As of this recording, our first episode is out.
Yes.
I think I speak for both of us when I say we're very thankful for everyone that listened. We are in the double digits, so that's really cool.
We are, yeah.
And yeah, we hope that y'all will keep listening, and we're always happy to answer questions and look like morons for you.
Yeah, that's very true. And we started an Instagram too, so follow that. Yeah. We almost have 10 followers already. That's hey, I mean, for a brand new,
for popping up out of the ground.
I know, it's
with
pretty good.
Really nothing.
But today we are. I apologize for the audio. We are doing the best that we can because we don't have the funds for fantastic, beautiful, lovely little microphones. So we're actually using tiny microphones this time around. So maybe it'll be better, but
yes, as we get better, as we continue, things will improve over time. So bear with us.
Yeah, it's still a fun content. So everybody can just suck it up and listen anyway.
To all our adoring fans, get over it.
Suck it up. Don't be a baby and just listen. Also, do you have any updates for podcast? Anything? Any fun facts of the week? Anything?
I have a little fun fact of the week. Inspired by your little family bit from the first episode.
Family bit?
Your family column.
Oh, my family column.
Where like little fun facts about your family.
I understand.
I'm curious because I was reminded of this story and I think it's really funny.
Okay.
But I have a question for you.
I'm a little nervous.
The question stands: what type of arts camp did my aunt get kicked out of as a child?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me what type of arts camp I went to as a child. And what type of art? I'm going to make a wild guess because I don't know your aunt.
Okay. I will say that this paints a very good picture of who she is as a person. This little story.
Okay. I think she went to an exclusively Bob Ross painting camp and she got kicked out because she didn't follow his happy little paintings or whatever the fuck.
Happy little trees.
Oh, happy little accidents, yeah.
You're kind of close in your reasoning, but not quite that type of camp. Do you want another guess? More performing arts.
Ooh, trumpet camp.
A little closer, but not quite.
Okay.
She got kicked out of mime camp because she couldn't stop talking. Like they would be like, "Hey, like, okay, pretend like do an elephant," and she would, but she would do the like, like she couldn't stop making the noises to go along with the bits. And so after a while, they were like, "Okay, she can't be here. Like she doesn't get it. Like she's not like." Wow. So they kicked her out of mime camp.
The fact that there is mime camp in general is really throwing me for a loop. Damn.
Yeah.
Why'd they have to do her like that? She's just trying to act out shit.
She should have gone to acting camp, honestly, instead of mime camp.
Maybe that's where she went after. If you they have a program where if you get kicked out of mime camp, you have to go to acting class instead.
Honestly, mime camp rejects might be great for acting camp recruitment.
Mime camp rejects is crazy. Oh my god. My fun fact of the week is that I saw Train to Busan finally.
What'd you think?
It did traumatize me a little bit.
Oh, damn.
But not really, because... Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, God. So it's one of those fast zombie movies.
The zombies where you're like, it's over.
I would have been gone in moments. Like, I have some athleticism. Running isn't one of them. But that's not in my wheelhouse. I mean, who knows? Put me in a zombie apocalypse, we'll find out. But like...
Being chased by something that's going to kill me, maybe I might kick it into overdrive. Who knows?
It was crazy. They literally are on a train. Spoiler alert.
Where's it going?
Busan, actually. I didn't expect it. Well, I had been pre-warned that it was sad. But I was like, it can't be that sad. It was.
You were mistaken.
Although it was not as sad as Dawn of the Dead. That shit I had no warning for. There was no business. You would actually like those movies. The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
Those wouldn't strike me as like sad. I mean, I know the first one is like art, and then they get goofier as it goes on, but like I wouldn't assume sad.
No, they all have like a social commentary attached to them, which is really cool. Like the second one, Dawn of the Dead, is I actually saw them out of order. I saw Day of the Dead and then Dawn of the Dead. Why I didn't put two and two together that it was like the rising sun, like night, dawn, and day.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my own fault.
I also just put that together.
Like, that must be a common mistake. I mean, nothing like was not making sense. So anyway, but yeah, the second one is all about like consumerism and because they get trapped in a mall. So it's like a commentary on consumerism.
I love a good movie that takes place stuck in a mall.
It was perfect vibes. Even though it was filmed in 1979, I think. But that one was Stranger Things vibes, the mall, Starcourt. It was fantastic. It was so good. And then the third one I think was, I didn't look it up about like what the meaning was, but it's definitely about like, I don't know, I got the vibes of like experimentation on things that don't need to be experimented on. Like maybe the zombies, like maybe just fucking like, let's live and not, we don't need to figure it out. Like, anyway.
A little bit of we're so focused on asking if we can.
But it was great. It was really cool. And like definitely abuse of power, like all that stuff. It was crazy. Anyway, Train to Busan, highly recommend.
Well, I think zombies segues us greatly into our topic this week.
I agree. This week, I don't know if we gave a little sneak peek in the last episode. I don't remember that we were going to do a Jeopardy style episode this time around. And our theme, do you want to reveal our theme?
We're doing a little bit of a cryptid trivia this week. We both really like cryptids. We both love Bigfoot, both love Mothman, these odd creatures that potentially exist. So we did a bit of a deep dive into some different aspects of them. Because like the term cryptid is a little amorphous, I think, in like what people recognize. It only refers to like an animal or like some kind of like creature of some sort that has been claimed to exist but never concretely proven.
Okay.
Even if there's a lot of like evidence or support behind it, there hasn't been a definitive 100% agreement like this thing definitely exists.
That makes sense.
So it can encompass a lot of things like traditionally like what we think of like the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, so on and so forth. But I do think that like aliens and other things that are that like are a little more, maybe we kind of like parcel off into different sections or different categories would also, I think, be considered like within this.
Okay, yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. I did not look up the definition, so I really appreciated you giving me that.
No problem.
Is Bigfoot your favorite cryptid?
I would think so. And I know that that's kind of like a basic bitch answer, but like we do live in the woods.
Yeah,
so
we
like,
do live in the woods.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking? That I was looking outside, and you can obviously see outside too. I was like, I think my woods particularly looks like the Hunger Games woods. Like in the first one. And I don't know why, but it, for me, looks exactly like it. That was not important to share, but I still have not finished the Hunger Games book, so I'm in the zone. Category-wise, we have chosen 3 different categories, but we still maintained the 100 to 500 question levels. So we each, pretty much, if you put them together, you have a almost full Jeopardy.
Little over a full.
Yeah, little over a full one, which is okay. But I think this is good. Since I have my template up, I can share my categories first, unless you had anything else. Just
like at least for me, before I get into like the specific categories, I tried doing. I think I did more like cryptid adjacent things and like the cryptid itself.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, I definitely aimed more towards cryptids themselves, but some of the questions are worded more about like the areas or years, things like that. So we're gonna get creative, and there's no way that we're gonna have the same questions. Like we were worried about that at first, but we might have the same answers. Maybe if we like go specific for the cryptids themselves,
because within like the umbrella of cryptid, like yes, it is very like encompassing, but there are a lot where it's like even a researched episode, it's like how would you be expected to know? So I think like there are probably some that we kind of like probably use multiple times, admittedly, but like that was
some I went completely rogue and I had not even heard of them. So you're fucked for those.
Fair enough. I'll have to hope that
You have to live on a prayer for those. So I'll start with my first three categories. I have of our regions, which is all local New England cryptology.
Okay.
Then I have hear ye which year, and that is all year based, questions. Years cryptids were
My favorite kind of question.
found or substantial things in a year, those kind of things. And then last but not least, I have menacing magic, and that is cryptids that have magic.
Okay.
Like every one of them has a sort of magic.
It's not just like them existing that's odd.
No.
It's like what they do. Okay.
Yes, like their supernatural ability.
All right. Well, for my categories, I have where the cryptid things are, which I think is a similar to your of our region.
Yes.
But I went more it's less about like where they're from, like the region, and more like cryptids that are related to a specific place. Like I think the questions will make that a little more apparent as it goes on. Big screen cryptids. These are all like movies, TV that are involving cryptids. And then cryptid pseudoscience. These are all about hoaxes about cryptids.
I like that.
I'm really excited about that last one.
That'll be good. I'm excited about that too. Mine actually is in a Jeopardy board where I can count the points if you really want to. We don't have to, obviously, because
what do you mean? The points matter.
Yeah. Well,
the points absolutely matter.
I meant on here. We're counting the points in live, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do.
Yeah, if you want to keep track there, like just
cool.
team 1 and team 2, I think that's fine.
Perfect. If I won cryptid trivia, I would feel so.
Yeah.
Although, if we ever did like a ghost trivia, like a haunted one, which I think we should, that'd be really cool. Like famous haunted places, and I lost that one, I would have to become a ghost, I fear. So let's keep that in mind too. All right. So you can go first since you won. Do you want me to answer a question first since you won? Or do you want to answer a question first because you won?
I'll answer a question first. I gotta get some points in the last time we did this, I didn't have any points on the board for a lot of the beginning of the game. So let's do of our regions 100.
Okay.
I feel like this one we might have maybe the exact same question for one of them, but that'll be funny.
No, some of them are rogue. This might be my hardest category is the of our regions one. Okay, so
that makes me feel a little better.
Of our regions for 100. In the woodsy state of Maine, this type of animal was spotted at over 15 feet tall and was also seen as ghostly or even albino, making people question whether or not this was actually a cryptid creature.
This type of animal in Maine. Oh, like a moose or like a deer, something in that realm, perhaps.
Final answer?
Final answer: moose. That's a Maine animal.
What is a moose?
There we go.
Congratulations.
100 points on the board.
100 points. All right. Next for you.
Let's do 200 region.
Of our regions for 200. I like how I put the actual year category, and then there's years in like almost all my questions. That's just how it is. From 1817 to 1819, this slippery beast was spotted up and down the coast of Massachusetts by hundreds of people.
The slippery beast. They called me in high school.
No, we didn't.
This slippery beast was spotted up and down the coast of Mass by hundreds of people.
And this is like the exact name of it. If you can, I don't know, they can't do like half points in this, but maybe we ourselves can do half points if you get like the general.
1817. What's going on then? What's happening? Post-industrial revolution? During?
Don't ask me that. I have no clue. This isn't that kind of trivia. If you pulled out like Revolutionary War trivia, I would literally have no fucking clue what was going on. I don't even know.
The cryptid of British people.
Oh my god. You know what? There weren't that many cryptids in the UK, I found.
Interesting. I found one. But
I think I found one too.
We'll get to that later. I actually have no idea. Like giant salamander. Hold on, wait a minute. There's a name. The Boston baked salamander.
That is incorrect.
I figured.
It is the Gloucester? Is that how you say that word?
I think it's Gloucester.
Gloucester? I live in New England. I should fucking know, but Gloucester sea serpent.
Interesting. I haven't heard about that one.
Me either. All right. Well, my turn.
Where would you like to answer from?
I'm really curious about cryptid pseudoscience.
I'm
So
so happy
I'm
you
gonna
chose that
go
one.
cryptid pseudoscience for 100.
All right.
This is so exciting. I'm having a great time.
Tourists in Australia may have heard the tales of the drop bear, a vicious little creature that hangs out in trees that may attack you. Locals and those listening will know it actually is just a made-up version of this marsupial.
A koala?
Final answer?
Yes.
That would be correct.
Yes! Love Australia.
I love the story of a drop bear.
A drop bear. That's so funny.
All right, you get to answer again.
All tied up, folks. All right.
Riveting stuff. Riveting game so far.
This is thrilling. All right. I'm going to go where the cryptids are for 100.
100. Many flock to this loch in Scotland to try and catch a view of this cryptid, which is theorized to have been first spotted in the 6th century.
That would be the Loch Ness Monster, or there are many names for the Loch Ness Monster, but I'm going to go with the Loch Ness Monster.
Ooh, that is correct.
I was like, don't play.
there are a lot of like loch monsters in like Europe in general, but like because I was looking up like the Loch Ness Monster and things about it, and it was like, oh, the Loch Blanc Monster, like, and I was like, oh damn, like they got creatures over there.
Yeah, I feel like a sea serpent or like a creature in the water is one of the most common cryptids, just because we have no fucking clue what's underneath the water.
It's like it's wholly believable.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% believe it.
Plus, it's like, I mean, a lot of the like, you know, oh, it's fake. Is like driftwood and like shit is just in the water too. So it's like whether it like is real, like that does make a lot of sense. Where'd you like to go next?
I would like to go cryptid pseudoscience for 200. I'm going crazy.
Okay, this film has recorded in 1967 has been under harsh scrutiny from the scientific community in its attempt to prove the existence of the Sasquatch.
Film. I don't know if I know any films about, well, not in general, but like
I don't know if I've ever seen a movie. It's not like a movie. It is like a famous like video more than anything else. But it's like the blank, you know.
I feel like it's like Finding Bigfoot or the Cryptid Files or like something like that. But I don't know. I'm gonna go with Finding Bigfoot.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is a TV show about finding Bigfoot.
Right. If the audio, like, if there was a difference in something, it's because our microphones died. It's fine.
We had a little bit of a technical issue, but we're back online.
And as I said before, suck it up.
we will get better. I promise. I pinky swear.
So if we backtrack a little bit,
I'm pointing my fingers together and like looking up. Like, please don't be mad.
I'll try to edit it so it's not backtracking too much. But
I think it got cut off right before I gave the answer. It was a bit of a cliffhanger. But the answer was the Patterson-Gimlin film. And that is like and anyone that has like researched Bigfoot in like any sort of like I feel like this comes up very like commonly. And like this has been like from what I was able to find like super like down to like frame by frame, second by second, people are figuring out like based on the way that like the camera like jostles, like how like fast I think it was Patterson who was recording it was like moving and like just like figuring out the timeline because like there are things in the timeline that don't really make a lot of sense. Like I think like one of the things was like I think the only places that would have been able to like burn the film that the camera was using would have been closed at the time that it was recorded. So like the fact that it was like done really quick lends itself to like it being kind of a hoax. Like
interesting.
It kind of goes a little bit back and forth.
Have you seen the film?
I have. It's like it's really cool because I mean it's interesting as a piece of like history because I do think that like regardless of its legitimacy or not, I think as a piece of like Americana, I think it's really interesting.
Do you believe what they like the footage that they have?
That's a good question because like a counterpoint is that like watching the video, if it is a costume, it doesn't look terrible. It's not like a shitty like rubber costume, which at the time of the recording in '67, I think like the first Star Wars movie comes out. This is a test to my nerd card, but I want to say like '71 maybe. So like special effects and such like that, like not that like that's like the litmus for special effects, but I'm thinking of like Chewbacca's costume and whatnot. Like it's like kind of like early on and it like isn't perfect. So like the counter argument is like it's a really good costume if it is a hoax. So it's like, it's kind of like in this weird, like, people either think it's a very, very well produced hoax, or it like has to be real. Like, it's not like that's
so
the thing.
hard, yeah.
And it's like, I honestly like don't know. Like, and I think that's like with something like this, I think that's fine, because like ultimately I don't think it really matters. But like, it's something like every now and then, like, I watch it and I'm like, man, what if
yeah, like what if it is real?
it becomes one of those things where it's like, yes, it could be like mass hysteria of like, oh well, I know that thing exists, like, oh, and I saw something move, like I bet it's that. But like, so many people have like had sightings and stuff that I'm like, I feel like at some point something maybe. I have said that I think of all the cryptids to be like real, Bigfoot's probably like the best case scenario. One of the best
and like
case
the
scenarios.
Yeti. Yeah, which are arguably probably the same thing, but like just in different environments.
Because it's like, oh, what other cryptids are there? It's either like a giant dinosaur that shouldn't be there, or like an alien, or like a demon. It's like, at least this is like a giant gorilla, more or less.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
true.
And it doesn't want to be seen. It's like, leave me alone. I don't want to.
So real for that, honestly. All right, well, I didn't get that right, so it is now your choosing.
All right. Hear ye which year, because I love year questions.
And which
100.
100. All right. At standing height, this amphibian-ish creature, first seen in 1955 by a businessman, remains one of the shortest cryptids around, ringing in at around 3 or 4 feet tall.
Amphibian-ish.
Yeah, just amphibian-ish.
Interesting.
I thought you were looking up the answer for a second, and I was like, actually.
No, I forgot to account for 100 of your points, and I was like, oh, let me put that in. This amphibian-ish creature, 1955, by a businessman.
Mm-hmm. I think it was in Louisiana, but I'm not 100% positive.
Well, because I'm like, amphibian-ish is interesting, because like, I feel like not a lot of cryptids are amphibian-like, aside from things that are just sea creatures. So I'm trying to think, like, I feel like I'm gonna know it. And I'm going to be mad when I don't get it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you also had this as an answer.
Is it? I'm just going to go with Fishman.
Well, actually, it's Frogman.
Oh.
Or the Loveland frog.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that does ring kind of a bell.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite stories. That he was just seen by a businessman. He was like, guys, you're never going to believe it.
You're not going to believe this shit. This weird ass frog guy.
But then I can't remember. I think it was either him or the next sighting where they were like, he was sighted and he had a wand and like a crown. And everyone was like, whoa, like, what are we doing here? So I could definitely see a frogman existing, but I don't know about the crown and the magic wand.
Yeah, that might have just
But
been...
who am I to say? Yeah. You know, so unfortunately you did not hit that one.
Fair. Understood. All right, boards back to you.
Well, let's go big screen cryptids. I'm going to go 300.
300?
Yes, and I do have to sneeze, so everyone just wait until that moment comes. Yes.
We're all going to experience it together.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting given what we were talking about during the technical break.
Oh, yeah. You guys missed some incredible lore drops.
Yes, so maybe when we hit a number...
The number that we decide upon.
We'll release the lore cut or something, or we'll redrop the lore that we shared.
Oh my god!
But so this is a little different from traditional Jeopardy question.
Okay.
300. Which of these cryptids has the Scooby-Doo gang never encountered on screen? There are a lot of Scooby-Doo movies. The Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra, Bigfoot, or the Jersey Devil.
Oh boy.
These are kind of like this is like the Mount Rushmore of cryptids, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Chupacabra. Because
final answer.
I feel like, final answer.
That is incorrect.
It's the Jersey Devil?
Jersey Devil.
I was torn between those two.
There is a comic where they encounter the Jersey Devil, but it's never, from what I was able to discover, never like a movie or TV villain.
I was torn between those two because I'm like, they definitely have seen that Loch Ness Monster somewhere.
They've definitely encountered Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, I think multiple times probably.
No, the I think it's the Monster of Mexico is the one where they face the Chupacabra, and I love that one. That's one that like sticks with me. That one and Cyber Chase are like my two two goated.
I don't
Scooby-Doo
remember a lot of
episodes.
Scooby-Doo episodes. I don't know. I didn't really watch like reruns of it or anything. So I don't remember, but it's something we were talking about in the break. Our
True.
microphone break. What's a Scooby-Doo movie? That was actually very on theme. Yeah. All right. Well, it's your turn again.
All right, let's see. Let's try Menacing Magic 100. Let's get the hundreds off the board.
If captured by a human, this green-themed lover of gold grants you 3 magic wishes in exchange for them to be released.
Is this a leprechaun?
It is, which some might argue is not a cryptid.
I would argue, because I've seen in some circles that like folklore is in that like umbrella.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly where I went with it, because there's also a lot of evidence that a leprechaun is not a human-like creature. It's more like goblin-esque, or like there are many different versions of it. So I don't know. I just felt like I'm going to add it in and everyone can deal with it.
Yeah,
but yes, that was correct. Good job.
Well, that's kind of like the drop bear question I had for hoaxes. Is like, it's not even like a creature. It's just like,
right.
More or less like a koala with like rabies or something,
Yeah.
but it's not even like real. So it's like again, to like the definition of something that like is believed to exist but not real. Like, you can believe a leprechaun exists, even though there's not, despite the leprechaun traps that are set every year.
I mean, I had that boost question too, so yeah, we're on the same page. Don't worry.
It's in the same wheelhouse. I think.
Definitely.
Let's do magic for 2.
With the immense size and strength of this water-dwelling cryptid, one of the powers it's rumored to have is the ability to summon floods.
Is it a kraken?
Final answer?
Final answer?
No, it's the Loch Ness monster.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it had that. I didn't know it had the magical capabilities.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you go. This is exactly why we tell you guys to learn a little something from us.
I didn't know.
You did. There, you just did.
I thought it was just like, hey, we got a dinosaur in this lake over here. Like, I know
probably
it was
what it actually is, but I mean, that is a rumor. Obviously, these are all rumors. Let's go big screen cryptids for 100. It's a pretty balanced game so far.
I think so. Yeah. A family accidentally hits a Sasquatch with their car upon returning home from a camping trip in this lighthearted family movie.
Oh God,
this is a goated movie.
Why do I not know it?
I feel like it's one. I mean, obviously, it's like, yeah, you know it when I tell you, but it's one of those where it's like it's gonna hit you once you hear it.
Oh no, I don't know. I actually don't even have a guess.
Interesting.
I feel like the only thing I can think of is Christmas Vacation. I don't know why. That's not it.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
Final
that's
answer?
what. Yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons.
I don't know that. No.
That's like the only good Bigfoot movie. Like all the other ones are like campy, like horror movies, which like, you know, in their own right are fun.
Yeah,
but like this one is like, yeah, they like hit Bigfoot and they like attach him to the car, like you would like a deer.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, like what are we gonna do? And then it turns out they didn't kill him, and so then they kind of just like adopt him. And everyone thinks it's like, oh my God, it's Bigfoot. So like there's like that, but like it's like a cute.
Oh, you know what? I think I have a very, very vague memory of this now.
And like I looked up the like theatrical poster, and it's like, I don't know if I can make this any bigger and show you. Unfortunately for our listeners at home, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's like the tagline is, according to science, Bigfoot doesn't exist. When you can't believe your eyes, trust your heart. And then it's like his eyes and a rose, because like all he wants.
Why does it look like a Hades Town poster?
That I'm like, this is like an intense poster. Like I've seen this movie.
Oh
like it's
God.
good, but I'm like, this is like an intense poster.
Oh, trust your heart. Oh,
It really-
Bigfoot's such a sweetie.
It really does look like the Hades Town poster, but with eyes above the rose.
Which, thank God, the Hades Town poster doesn't have eyes. That's fucking horrifying.
These like sad green Bigfoot eyes.
Oh, that's so sad.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a good movie. My go.
Yes.
Let's do Of Our Region for 4. Let's get a
Whoa.
little bold here. Let's get a little Batman Brave and the Bold.
This tiny but mighty green little cryptid once chased and tackled a man in Derry, New Hampshire.
Tiny but mighty green little cryptid. Tiny but mighty and green. We've already seen leprechauns, so that can't be it. Like a goblin? Did someone get tackled by a goblin in Derry?
Final answer?
Final answer.
It's the Derry Fairy, but
Interesting.
I kind of want to give it to you because it was described as goblin-esque.
I mean, you are the judge of your own trivia. So if you want
I'm
to
gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you because it was described as goblin-esque.
Okay.
But in case anyone didn't hear me, it was the Derry Fairy, which
Yeah.
I used to live in Derry too. Thank
Interesting.
God I didn't get tackled by a green goblin. The green goblin.
Thank God I didn't get tackled by the Green Goblin.
Thank God Willem Dafoe didn't come and tackle me. Actually, no. Anyway, we got to move on from that.
Actually, no, hold on, wait a minute.
Like, wait. And this
Um,
little flying saucer.
of our region 3, let's see if I can run the category.
Named after the same town it's found in, the Bennington monster, similar to a Bigfoot, is found in this angular and familiar-sounding creepy spot in Vermont. It's kind of wordy, but
Angular and familiar.
this is the nickname for this little spot. So this isn't like the Bennington is Bennington, Vermont,
Mhm.
but this is the nickname of what they call this spot.
The only thing I can think of off of the familiar sounding and angular, I just want to say Fitch's Corner. Like in my head, like you found out that's where it's called, and you're like, oh wow, like, but I'm like that can't be correct. That's
No,
literally
I
a
mean
farm.
familiar to like the masses.
Burlington Triangle.
Oh, it's so close. It's the Bennington Triangle.
Oh my god.
I'm not giving you that. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. I was like, there's no way it's that easy. I'm like, it has to be like.
I'm so sorry. I want to give you that, but I can't.
I can't believe I
because
fumbled that so hard.
That was a big hint in that one. But yes, the Bennington Triangle is this like teeny little town that all of this weird supernatural shit happens. And like the Bennington monster is apparently one of the things that happens there. But like there's this hiking trail there that people just disappear on.
Oh.
Like gone. Like just gone immediately. I listened to it on that podcast, the Two Girls, One Ghost podcast I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were talking about all the supernatural stuff in it. And they talk about cryptids because they're supernatural most of the time. So they were talking about it, and I was like, this is scary. It's just this like teeny tiny town, but yet people just vanish.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. Scary.
Trip
Anyway,
to Bennington, Vermont.
let's go. We're gone. You never hear from us ever again. The lost episode becomes the lost podcast. I'm gonna go. Let's do cryptid pseudoscience for 400.
400. Yeah. Shope papillomavirus.
What the fuck? Start again. What do you mean?
Shope, SHOPE, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Shope papillomavirus, which can cause bony and or rigid growths in certain animals, is likely the diagnosis of this small cryptid.
Small.
This one falls into like I think the folklore section of like cryptid. Like it's definitely a thing I think you've heard of before, but maybe like not in the same ilk of cryptid.
Because my first thought was the Wendigo, which I know. Okay, listen, if we get cursed after this makes sense.
The sun like blinked earlier. I think we're already cursed.
Oh my god! But like, I think the Wendigo is one of those things where you like shouldn't talk about it and think, but what we have to the episode. But like that's my first thought because I've seen that but they're like really tall. I feel like they're known to be really tall, so I don't think it's that. Bony, I don't know, like a mummy, like a zombie. I don't know. I'm not correct, but hold on. Let me think. Oh God, I don't know. I really don't know. I bet I do know, and
Final answer.
I'm gonna say like a zombie.
Okay.
No, but like a zombie mouse or something.
The answer is jackrabbit.
Oh.
I think like originally, like the ones that like I think are mounted are like it's like a fake fabricated like cryptid specifically that like is designed to be fake. And I think like originally like the jackrabbit kind of like started out as like someone had deer antlers and like a rabbit next but like it's theorized that the sightings in the wild are this virus that rabbits can get that essentially cause like these like growths to form that people are like, oh, I saw like a rabbit with horns, and it's like, oh, so
I could not think of that for the life of me just then, but
fair enough.
It's fine.
I mean, when was the last time you thought of a jackrabbit?
Well, when I made these questions, I guess. All right, it's your turn.
All right, let's clear some of the years. Let's do year 200.
In January 1832, the U.S. opened its first curling club. Sticking with the icy theme of this sport, this cryptid was first spotted in Nepal the same year.
That's got to be the abominable snowman. Or the Yeti.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
The Yeti.
Or the Bumble, depending on...
Oh, the Bumble.
The Bumble.
All right, guess again.
Year for 3.
In 1980, a man claimed that he had died and then was remarkably brought back to life and was even able to recall details from his life before. This event is possibly one of the reasons for the start of this cryptid media craze.
I feel like there is an obvious answer. I feel like it's zombie. But my brain first went to, Phoenix. Duh. But I'm going to go with zombies.
That is
Final
correct.
answer.
It's the zombie.
And bring in musical guest The Cranberries.
I have been listening to so much 2000s, like 1990, 2000s rock music. But like, not rock, more like, I don't know why, but like Panic at the Disco, which I know, guys, I know. Don't get me started. More like Fall Out Boy, I love Fall Out Boy anyway. And what else? I don't even know. Oh my god, Weezer. Like, why the fuck did I put on Weezer's album the other day? Also, though, underrated album. The actual, like where Teenage Dirtbag comes from, that album, I think it's just called Weezer. That album in particular has some of the funniest lyrics I have ever heard. So everybody, shout out to Weezer. Please go.
Big shout out Weezer.
And the All American Rejects. Perfection in a band, by the way. I love them so much. Have loved them forever. I saw the Gives You Hell music video when I was a kid and went, that is perfect. And then Dirty Little Secret was one of the songs on the DS version of Guitar Hero. So those two songs are like top notch. And they're coming out with a new album. And they are going on tour with the Jonas Brothers. I think I've said this every episode, but I need everyone to let that sink in. I think they were on tour with the Jonas Brothers or going, I don't know. Also, they did this, like, they went to a college in LA and like did a house party concert. Really? That is the most iconic shit I've ever heard of. You're telling me a 2000s band, like 1990 2000s band, went to a house party, performed their new song. Fuck that. I'm so jealous.
That reminds, in a similar vein, also around the Jonas Brothers, I think like it wasn't too long ago I saw a video. They were doing a concert in like the mall or like some mall, and they brought out Big Time Rock. Like,
and the All American Rejects were there.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They were all there. I think they're all on the same tour.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, I think he has 2 openers. I think it's both of them.
Oh,
maybe I'm wrong. That I might be wrong about. But why would they both be there? Why was Big Time Rush there? They are the odd ones out.
It might have been the Mall of America, which I think is in Minnesota, which is where like the show took place. So that might have been it. That's so crazy. I can't confirm nor deny that explicitly.
They are literally bridging the gap between generations. We have Big Time Rush, Jonas Brothers. I almost said One Direction. Not the same.
That would be that's the like Jonas Brothers, Big Time Rush, All American Rejects, One Direction. Long ago, the 4 boy bands used to live together in harmony.
Literally, they are the 4 nations.
Everything changed when One Direction decided to break up.
R.I.P. Liam. I was never a Directioner, but like...
Nor was I really.
I am a Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson stan because they were together. Anyway, we can't get into that. It's your turn still.
I just, like, there's something about the sound of, like, early 2000s, like, pop rock that, like... It hasn't been like replicated, I think.
No.
Like it hasn't like continued. It like exists solely within there. That like every now and then like we're reminded of like Pocket Full of Sunshine comes to mind. Unwritten also same art. But like radio pop hits that like I mean I guess it is like nostalgia because it's like I remember, but like there is a certain sound to it that I'm like this like feels correct.
Yes.
And maybe that is the nostalgia filter. Who knows? But like
it makes me feel like I need to be at a house party. Like I need to, not that I ever went to a house party in high school. You know that I was not a party hard girl. But like it gives that vibe. It gives like, I need to be in 10 Things I Hate About You, or like something like that, like American Pie.
In the same vein, like some people put on music and it's like, I feel like I need to like lift like 1,000 pounds right now. Like, or like I need to like stand on top of a building and like look down at night and be like, the city needs me.
And
like,
lay in the grass.
Like it's like I need to be somewhere where like there are people drinking and like smoking.
Yes.
Like I need to be at a party with this on.
I also, not in the same vein at all, but so I have been putting this on when I've been like doing workouts or whatever. So I'll like put on a random album or like a random playlist I find. The playlist the other day was 2000s Disney Channel original songs.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. And I was not prepared for what it played me, because I played like specifically the upbeat ones, because I'm not about to like hear The Climb in the middle of a workout. But Gitchy Gitchy Goo from Phineas and Ferb took me to another dimension. Like, I literally don't think I was in my body for the 3 minutes that song lasted.
You hear Gitchy Gitchy Goo, you're like, I'm running another mile.
I literally was like, I am not of this world anymore. I am a cryptid. Anyway, sorry, that was a crazy tangent. It's still your turn.
Let's do Menacing Magic 3.
Despite being potentially the most heavy-footed cryptid out there, the Bigfoot has had multiple theories about whether or not this form of getting from one place to another is actually a supernatural ability that Bigfoot possesses.
I do know this one, and I think it's really awesome if you could, but like teleport, right?
Yes.
Like teleportation.
Yeah.
That is the funny option.
I know. Like, what do you mean?
Because there's something a little bit about like assuming that like a Sasquatch has been around for like ever. There has to come a point where it's like, okay, people are here. Like I can't like completely avoid them. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like there's like a little bit of assuming that any of this is real, but like there is a little bit of like the forethought of like he has to know that he's fucking with us. Like like a Sasquatch would have to know that.
Yes,
like,
and that's exactly what like again I was listening to that other podcast, but they were saying how there was a lot of evidence that the footprints, there would be like one or two, then gone. And so they were like, people started to think that the Bigfoot just like plopped down just to leave like a hint of himself, and then was like, I gotta peace out. Bye guys. And then like footprints would be found somewhere else. So that's like, I think where that probably started was, how does he get from one place to another? And does that beg the question that the Yeti and the Bigfoot are the same? And is he just like heading over to Nepal?
And that's interesting, which we'll get to later on in my little presentation here. I don't know if like, I don't think the Yeti and the Sasquatch are like the same thing, but I think like they're just like the same, but like regional variants, like Darwin's finches, but like for cryptids.
Yeah. All right. Well, you get to pick again.
I'm on a roll.
Oh fuck! You're gonna win. Pissed. I'm pissed.
Hear ye which year for 4.
One of the oldest known cryptids, first being spotted more than 40,000 years ago, this quote-unquote zombie-like creature is considered to be one of the worst curses to the Algonquin-speaking Native American people.
Is this the Wendigo?
Final answer?
Final answer.
Yes, is the Wendigo. Wow, I'm upset.
Menacing Magic 5. Let's see.
I should not fucking put this in the 500 category. You're totally gonna get it. With glowing red eyes, a large wingspan, and a muscular human-adjacent body, the Mothman does not shy away from its incredible abilities. However, if I could read your mind, this catastrophic supernatural ability might be Mothman's most dangerous one. He is one of our most magical cryptids.
Can he like, does he have like freaking like idol transfiguration? Can he like make you like into something else? Can you be like, oh, Mothman, and then like you're a lamp or something? Like,
is that your final answer?
Like some if you like fear him, he can like turn you into something. Like there are other like cryptids that have like that. It's like, oh, if you fuck with it, it turns you into a bit. Like I think that's what it's like.
He might, but that is not the answer for this in particular.
Damn.
So I don't know if I had a fact checker who wants the job. Please, I'll buy you a coffee. All right. But this is disaster inducement. So he can like create a catastrophic event.
That's so cool. 2, I'm really mad I didn't get that, and you'll know why later.
Well, considering I put 2 hints in here, then I feel like I'm mad at you a little bit too. But no. But there's a lot of rumors about him like breaking bridges and like collapsing bridges and everything. So that was, I think, where that started. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he's capable of that. I don't believe my Mothman would particularly do that. Since he's so sweet and kind, stealing children or whatever. But yeah. All right. Finally, my turn.
Alrighty.
Let's get me on a roll here. Come on, folks. All right. Let's go where the cryptids are. Where the cryptid things are for 200.
The Dover demon, a small, almost alien-like creature, is, quote, native to this New England state.
I'm going to go with Massachusetts.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is correct.
Because isn't it from Boston, but weirdly called the Dover demon?
Yeah.
Not sure what that's about.
This was one I took some notes on because I thought it was pretty interesting. There were 3 sightings of this one creature. Like the first time it was spotted was in 1977. April 21st and 22nd. There are 3 sightings across this like 2-day period. One from a William Bartlett or Bill Bartlett, who was driving a car at the time. Another by John Baxter, and another by a woman named Abby Brabham. I might be butchering the last name there, but all of the teenagers drew like sketches, and it seemed like the only like difference between some of them were the color of the eyes. I think 2 accounts said they were glowing like orangey red, and another account said green, or it might be the other way around. 2 said green, 1 said orange, but like some of that vein.
Okay.
But what I thought was really interesting, because like I feel like if you're like a teenager in like the 70s and you're like lying to like, and you're just like making shit up, like you just kind of like go along with it.
Yeah.
But like what I thought was really interesting was on the sketch that he made, William Bartlett, the first person who like claimed to have seen it, like crawling on like an old rock wall.
Ew.
Like on the sketch wrote, I, Bill Bartlett, swear on a stack of Bibles that I saw this creature.
Wow.
There's something about like if it like didn't happen, which like I'm not saying that he didn't see it. It probably was just something else.
Yeah.
But like there's something about like, I feel like so many hoaxes happen.
I know.
And it's just like, oh no, it just is that, whatever. Like, yeah, sure. But like something about like making that like specific note, I'm like, probably saw something that like really fucked them up. And it was probably like, I think some have like kind of debunked it as like, oh, it was probably like an opossum or something. Because it said that it didn't have like ears or a tail. And apparently hypothermia, which in Massachusetts is entirely possible, though I guess late April, maybe.
Yeah.
So I guess it's actually
well,
no. It
Say,
snowed.
never
mind. That's entirely
snowed like
possible.
2 weeks ago.
And apparently in frostbite, like possums or opossums, they'll lose their ears and tail first. So it's like it's speculated that like it was probably like something like that, or it's just like an animal that like was fucked up. But the word is still yours.
I'm gonna clear that 200 and big screen cryptids out of there.
And now this is where I kick myself in the butt. This movie follows a reporter who investigates the tidal cryptid in the Virginias following the death of his wife and a series of unexplained predicted fatal events.
That would be the Mothman prophecies.
That would be correct.
I have seen that movie.
I had a feeling you would have.
Of course I have. And I was terrified for weeks. I was quite young when I saw it. And I was convinced I saw glowing red eyes everywhere, because obviously there were like planes in the air. They have red eyes. How you think the Rudolph in Christmas time? Yeah. I lived across the street from a hospital before I moved to here. And they, of course, have like on top of like, you know, where like the helicopter lands, like the lights. And so like if I like had to like go downstairs, like for like a drink of water or whatever it might have been, our front door was in such a position where like once I like hit a certain step, these 2 big red lights, which I've now come to know are just like for like the helicopter, in this window would be like these 2 big red, like in my head, eyes. And I was like, that's so fucked up. That
but
is
like
fucked.
Brief
Live,
pause.
love, Mothman.
All right, and that's another 200.
Woo woo.
The streak does begin. We were right. Next question.
I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go where the cryptid things are. 500.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm going nuts.
While the official story seems to be that it was a fallen debris from the U.S. Air Force, conspiracy theorists believe aliens may have been present in this city, which has had a history of extraterrestrial incidents.
I know it! Hold on. That screech came from deep within my bones. I am the cryptid. Oh no! I'm having a moment. What the fuck? Oh my god, I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. This could, honestly, the answer could be multiple places, but like I know it's one where there was like the crash and the debris, and it was
Mhm.
they made a whole it was a whole thing.
Yeah, it's like the place.
It is. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Everyone, thank God there's not a time limit right now. We might have to enforce a time limit next time. Oh my god. I need to have a spiritual experience right now. Aliens, if you're listening, send it down to me.
If you can give me the state, I'd give you half points.
I can't, because I can I think it starts with a B. God, this is gonna, if I can't pull this out of my ass right now, I'm gonna be kicking myself for the rest of my life.
This is definitely top 5 places to mention if you're talking about cryptids.
I swear to God, it starts with a B. I don't know. I can't pull it.
Final
I'm gonna
answer?
cry. Yeah.
The answer is Roswell.
The Roswell incident, that's literally the infamous fucking, doesn't start with a B, but oh, I need to see myself out. That was so upsetting. I'm never gonna get taken now by aliens.
Or you will, and so that they're gonna...
They're like, fuck
they're
you.
we need to teach you.
Oh my god.
I remember the first time I learned about Roswell, I was like, why are we not talking about this more? It was one of those things where it was I felt like this was a huge problem.
That was detrimental to me.
That did psychic damage.
That did. Sorry, aliens. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, it's your turn now.
All right.
I'm pissed.
I will do menacing magic.
One of the most well-known cryptids in the world, this hairy creature has been known continuously to have the ability to shapeshift into another equally hairy beast.
I want to say werewolf, and it's a people are hairy. It turns into a big hairy wolf. That's my because I'm turning from one beast to another. Is it just a bigger one? I'm gonna go with werewolf. Final answer.
It is. It is.
Huge.
Which again, I think that one people would not consider a cryptid, but it obviously is. But, it's just become so normalized. I feel
I think it's because it's been roped into horror as a monster.
Yes.
That people wouldn't really think of it in this Well, I don't think people would think of Bigfoot as a monster. I think you could categorize, but
definitely
the opposite. I would I did see the werewolf come up a little bit. I would classify it a little more as a monster, but I guess the lore of a werewolf existing does kind of pull it back into cryptid.
I did think about putting a vampire thing in here, and then I was I don't think vampires are considered cryptids at all. Because it's not so much a creature, it's just and when I looked it up, it was no, nobody really considers that. So I don't know, is the vampire considered a monster?
I feel like the vampire might. I feel like there's some. I don't know the history of a vampire. This would be good for when we do the horror.
Oh, please!
But I feel like a vampire maybe has more of a religious connotation, so it is more of a monster.
Yeah.
But I do think that given the definition of something that people believe in but hasn't been, there are things that are vampire-like, but in the same in the vein that we think of a vampire. I'm I don't know. It rides the line of
yeah,
it hasn't been invited into cryptids yet, so it's I don't know.
You're not invited yet. It's your turn again, I guess.
Let's do Hear Ye Which Year.
For 500. On the more recent side of cryptids, this creature had 5 sightings all in one night in 1997, and leaving giant paw prints around, continued to be spotted for the rest of the year in the Lincolnshire area of the UK.
I think this is the one.
Oh, God.
Is it the Fiskerton Phantom?
Can't fucking Yes it is. What in the actual okay, this is the only circumstance where we had similar, but
which is crazy that it's such a weird one. We've both had Bigfoot questions, but never of the same vein, but of
course the one I was you'll never get this. Me literally plotting on my laptop you'll never get this, and then it's the one that you get. Fuck that. Anyway, congratulations. All right, well, last one for you then. That was, oh, fuck, you're probably gonna get this too. This goblin-like creature from the Wampanoag folklore is allegedly still seen in Massachusetts. Also, I apologize if I said that wrong. I think it's Wampanoag.
My off rip, I wanted to immediately say the Dover Demon because I think that would be really funny, but I don't think that can't be true. Goblin-like creature from Massachusetts. This could just be a resident of Boston. I actually have no idea. I don't think I've ever heard of this, unless I'm going to see the answer and be I have 4 posters of this thing. But I have no idea.
It is the Pugwudgie.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That closes out your board.
Well, now it's the
But now I have to see if I can redeem myself.
Nicole Variety Hour.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's go where the cryptid things are for 300. I gotta lock the fuck in right now. Hold on, I need a sip of water. Roswell took me down a notch here. I need to like...
Roswell was rough.
That was brutal. I can't believe that.
300 for where the cryptid things are. The old Alton Bridge, connecting the cities of Denton and Copper Canyon, Texas, is a popular destination for paranormal investigators looking for this cryptid. This is an interesting one. If you were on YouTube within the past like 10 years, I think maybe a little before that.
I am on YouTube, but I'm probably watching like Dan and Phil videos or something. So I'm really not in the same boat as that. Is it the Goat Man?
Final answer.
Yes.
That is correct. The Goatman's Bridge.
Yes. And no, because the reason I know this is because of Ghost Adventures, because that was like one of the scariest episodes I watched of that show, because I think one of them got like possessed when they were there. I mean, who knows if that's true, but you know what?
I know it from the BuzzFeed Unsolved when they go and investigate it too. Oh
my god, I love those guys so much. One time I was talking to someone and I said, I was watching YouTube and I was watching them and I said, I love like Shane and Ryan. And girl thought I was talking about Shane Dawson and his husband Ryland. And I was like, she was like, I can't believe you still watch them. Like they're super problematic. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you fucking talking about? These ghost hunters that are like the most non-problematic people possible. And she was like, yeah, like the guy who does all those conspiracy theories. What? No! I was like, hold on! Yeah, so that girl thought I was problematic, and I was like, no. These are ghost hunters. I'm so glad I got that right. Let's go big screen cryptids for 400.
Fans of ghost hunters may be familiar with this device used to supposedly detect the presence of ghosts by measuring certain frequencies. There are like a couple of answers I would accept for this.
Yeah.
I do have one, but...
God, I love ghost hunting shows. I eat that shit up every time. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures.
I think I like ghost hunting, if nothing more than for the trinkets. Like, I love a good thing that's like, oh, you need like a fuck ton of like accessories. Like oh, you want to look for, you're gonna need like 38 pieces of electronic equipment.
I love that they walk out like they're going to war. Like they look like they're dressed.
Yeah,
like...
and they're just like walking in like an empty house at night, and it's like, all right, we have all this shit.
I'm gonna go with an EMF reader.
Final answer?
Yes.
The streak is alive. I was looking for EMF reader, although I know that there are like a few that kind of do it, so I would have taken a couple of different answers.
We should go on a ghost hunt. Patreon exclusive.
Patreon exclusive.
We go ghost hunting. We go to Goatman's Bridge. We go to we go to Roswell.
Going to Roswell would be so fun.
I would get taken there. Like I would disappear. Oh, the Bennington Triangle.
Yeah, we'll go missing. Yeah.
We just go in the woods for Bigfoot.
Yeah, Patreon exclusive. We'll go squatching.
Let us know if you guys want that.
Yeah. All right, you're on a roll. Now that the competition element of it is gone. Now you're just
now I'm like, let's fuck it up. Did I not do cryptid pseudoscience for 300?
I don't think you did.
All right, well, let's go for it.
And if you did,
I'll find out.
Yeah. P.T. Barnum famously featured this cryptid, supposedly created by attaching a mummified monkey to a fish, in Barnum's American Museum.
What? A mummified monkey to a fish? The flying fish monkey.
Final answer?
Yeah.
The answer I was looking for was the Fiji mermaid.
Oh, I have heard of that.
The decrepit looking.
Yep.
And I think now, from this thing, now, any creature that, is kind of, in the same ilk of, these two things that are kind of, probably sewn together, it's called a Fiji mermaid, but FeeJe, I think, or Gee.
Oh, interesting.
So it's the Fiji mermaid spelled Fiji is the original and
gotcha.
What kind of comes to mind thinking of it, but then it coined a term for things of that variety.
All right, let's go big screen cryptids 500.
This is one that there's a chance. I put this in and I was like, there's no way. But now I think there's a chance. The Fiskerton Phantom.
This motherfucker haunts me.
A UK cryptid is the basis for Fiskerton, a family member / pet of the titular family of this animated cartoon series.
You know what? I actually hate my life because I almost put this as a question. Then I was like, no, I'll scroll past it. I feel like I don't know it. Wait, can I see the question again?
I will. This show is a little obscure. Like not knowing this is like not.
It
like...
is obscure because I saw it in the fun facts of this fucking cryptid and was like,
because
what a fun fact.
This may not come as a surprise, but I used to watch the show a little bit, and I thought the whole time that it was just like a weird Bigfoot.
I don't know it. All right, I don't know it.
Fair enough. It's the Secret Saturdays.
Right, of course. Of course it is. That was a Roswell incident all over again. All right, let's go. Cryptid Pseudoscience 500.
I'm tempted to give you half for this because this in and of itself might be a hoax of a question. This potentially radioactive cryptid, despite being of Ukrainian origin, has only ever been referenced in Japanese texts, if it even exists.
Is this the Momo? Is that what it's called?
Huh?
Isn't there one called like Momo? Like the Momo or something?
I think that's like a internet like creepypasta.
No, I swear to God I came upon that in my research too, but maybe it was just like making shit up.
It's entirely possible. It could. If we find out that this is the same thing, then we'll give you points.
I actually read that whole book about Japanese folklore. I should know this. I say that as if it was a research text. It was literally a young adult fiction book.
I think it's like, I will specify that like when it says only reference in Japanese text, it's not like a common thing. It's the only reference of this ever existing is from a Japanese account, despite it being like of Ukrainian origin.
I feel like I can picture it, but I don't know it.
The answer is the Chernobyl mammoth chicken. Now, I'm going to give you 250 points.
No, you don't even need to. I'm so far off the mark that I don't even fucking know.
Well, it's because, like, I looked this up, and the only reason I kept it in was because it was in the hoax category, and I thought it was, at the very least, a little meta. But, like, I looked it up.
Momo the monster.
Oh.
This fucker.
Yo, he looks chill.
Look at him.
Is he smoking a doobie?
Probably. Wait, let's see. Missouri Monster. Whoa. Okay, I don't like that version. Momo is the name of the local legend, similar to the Bigfoot, which is reported to live in Missouri. The name Momo is short for Missouri Monster, and it is reported to have a large pumpkin-shaped head with a very furry body and hair covering the eyes. Oh, cute.
So the Momo does exist.
Yeah, but that was not what we were going for.
It was not
here.
The Chernobyl mountain chicken.
No.
Mammoth chicken.
Don't even give me the points, please.
All this is like a big chicken. They were like, after Chernobyl, there were like reports of like a giant human-sized chicken.
Ew. I would rather die than see that.
Yeah, and like there is folklore of like from, I believe it was Colombia I was looking into, that like of like kind of existing of like a giant chicken that like I think I didn't look too much into it, and that's on my end, but I think it was like it punishes people or something like that, or it like seeks out like bad people.
Just pecks at you.
Kinda. But
Ew.
like and that's kind of like what it came up at. But like if you look up Chernobyl mammoth chicken, like that doesn't really come up. So I'm like, I heard it, and like that's why I'm like, if it even exists, because I'm like, it's weird that it's only referenced one, like it's referenced, it's like has a thing, but it's like,
you guys missed another break. I just have to say, we talked about some great things again. You'll never know what they are. Anyway.
Little technical hiccup, but we're back online. We have the last question of regular time Jeopardy. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just a refresher, the final one is in the category of where the cryptid things are. Russian folklore tells of this witch-like woman who lives in a house built on 1 to 2 chicken legs. Alternatively, the alias of a Keanu Reeves character.
Oh, this isn't right. I'm just gonna go out and say the Banshee.
Final answer?
Yeah, it's not right.
That is unfortunately incorrect.
Yeah.
The Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga! Of course. How could I forget?
Shall we do a quick point check-in before?
Yes. Also, everybody, I forgot to make a final Jeopardy question, so I apologize.
All right.
Point check-in. Asante has 2,700 points.
You have 1,300 points. However, so I do have a final Jeopardy.
Yes,
It-
I
it-
don't. I'm
we-
sorry.
We talked about it a little bit throughout the episode. So this isn't a traditional Final Jeopardy question. This is a little more in the line of Trivia with Steve bonus question.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But the category is identity fraud.
Oh my god, okay.
And the question is, I would like you to identify the real names of these like Sasquatch-like or Sasquatch-adjacent cryptids from around the world. So I'm gonna pull up a list of 10 names. 5 of them are real names that like are like regional versions of like a Sasquatch as kind of like ape man in the woods kind of vibe.
Okay.
5 of them are ones I've made up. If you can, 100 points for every correct one. So there's a possibility of 1,000 extra points.
Oh my
here.
god. Okay.
So we have your 10 options are
Yowie's crazy because
gone.
no.
Uh,
Never mind.
your options, I know. I now know. Not that. Spelled Yowie.
I'm like, someone's gonna get it and be like, Nicole, you're freaked the fuck out. Anyway.
The first
I only
one.
know that word from watching Dan and Phil, and I need to be honest about that.
Yowie. Ishi. The Beast of the Mississippi River. Yeti. Maimu. Swamp Ape. Bat Squatch. Boggy Creek Monster. Squatchacore. Or the Northern Afe.
Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
Swamp Ape.
Okay.
The Beast of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
Maimu? Is that how you said that?
Mm-hmm.
And the Northern Afe.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I think are correct.
Are correct.
Yes.
So Yeti, Swamp Ape, Beast of the Mississippi River, Maimu, and Northern Afe.
And I don't know what's going on with Yowie and Ishi here, but like, I feel like you didn't obviously like make up those words, but I feel like there are other cryptids that I just don't know. So that's why I just don't think that they're Bigfoot-esque.
Okay. I will also say that like this is not to say that these like aren't real. These are just names that, to my knowledge, are not associated with like Sasquatch.
Okay.
So you got 2 correct. Yeti is correct. Swamp Ape is like down south in like Florida region.
Damn.
Yowie is one from Australia. It's like the Australian kind of version of Bigfoot.
Of course it is.
Bat Squatch is one that's from after Mount St. Helens erupted. People claim to see like a flying hairy creature with red eyes in like the smoke.
Mothman took a break from Virginia.
It's a little like Mothman, Sasquatch kind of had a baby kind of vibes I was getting. And then the Boggy Creek Monster is another name for like a Sasquatch. And so Ishi I just pulled from like a fantasy name generator.
Okay.
Beast of the Mississippi River I made up kind of off of the Boggy Creek Monster.
See, I thought it was one or the other.
There's a movie based off of the Boggy Creek Monster that and then Squatchacore I just combined Sasquatch and Manticore. Maimu just it's Greek for monkey. And Afe is also German for monkey.
Damn.
But that means that you got...
I thought that was my redemption arc, you guys. It wasn't.
You got 400 points.
Okay. I still lost. Big time.
Your final score, all things said, 1,700 points.
Well, folks, this is the 3rd game I've lost in a row. 3 episodes in a row. And the first one didn't even count because it was like trivia about us. I mean, I guess it does count. I did win, but...
Yeah, that does count.
Fuck. Well, Santi ended with, again, 2,700 points, so 1,000 points more than me.
That's only 2 questions, if you think about it. That's not that bad.
Whatever. All right, well, congratulations.
Thank you. When we do the Friends trivia, it'll be the opposite. I'll know the names of the characters.
You just wait for that Harry Potter trivia.
And as we're recording this, today is also the conclave for deciding the Pope. And I have reports that say the Pope Watch episode, Black Smoke, no Pope today.
No Pope today.
I haven't figured it out yet. It's a no Pope day.
Well, congratulations on your win.
Thank you. I think that puts me at what now? 2 wins?
3.
3. Oh yeah, we played 2 last
You
time.
won Blinded in Science.
Mm.
If we're talking, I think the episodes will come out in order just because that's
More or
easier.
less, yeah.
So, you won Blinded in Science, Blinded by Science, not in Science. Blinded by Science, and what was the other one called? Things They Don't Teach You in School.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yep, I think you won both of those.
Okay.
And now you win this one. You know what we could do instead of like at the end of the year having a prize? We could do it like every 10 episodes, or like every 5 episodes or something.
Ooh.
That could be interesting.
That could be fun.
Okay, well, oh, what did I want to ask you, the media, the folks, the masses? Oh, well, number 1, you guys have to tell us if you want to be our with PA, personal assistant, or just monitor our podcast, sit and fact check us. If we're playing a game, just like read the instructions, or like in the case of Jeopardy here, just like combining our questions, because we had 2 separate boards this time, that we could like send questions to you and then you put them all into a board.
I think that format works a bit, but
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, this actually worked just fine.
Yeah,
it was
we could use some
just someone to help.
Yeah, competing against each other and also cooperating is difficult. So having a neutral party to assist us would be beneficial. But so maybe there'll be a third voice joining us soon.
Maybe not. We'll see. One of you guys has to.
We'll see.
Raise your hand. Also, lovely Marina, who did our art for the cover of our podcast, also created little like avatars for us, basically, of what was like drawn or created in that little art itself. And so I was thinking about posting those when the winner of the episode, like who is the winner of each episode. But if you guys don't want that spoiler, should I add that or should I not? Because like as an Instagram post, that could be kind of cute. But I don't have to do that. So, but it could be fun to be like, the winner of this episode is, and then you have to find out why and what, I don't know. You guys let me know.
We'll Jeopardy-esque giving the answer, then you have to wait.
It could be kind of fun.
We'll see.
Yeah, just those are my questions for you guys. And if you have any like trivia questions you want us to answer desperately, or you want a fun fact of the day or something, send it to our email.
Yeah, if you know like a crazy fact, or like if anything we talked about today, if you're like, oh, I actually know this thing about like another cryptid, like feel free to let us know. Like, and we like doing the.
You can DM us on Instagram now too. Yeah. Email us, or the email is thequestionanswerpodcast@gmail.com, and the Instagram is also the question answer podcast. So I think you can handle that.
Yeah.
And then what else? I was gonna say one more thing. Oh, if you have specific requests on what trivia you want to see, or trivia games,
any themes, games.
If you have any games that you want to lend us,
if there are any like challenges you want to see us do, like
you want the Patreon vlog of trivia.
Yeah, it could be. I'll run it by in post when we discuss. But
if you want the ghost hunting episodes,
if you want to watch us go squatching,
if you want me to vanish in the Bennington Triangle,
if you want us to get abducted in Roswell, then
I know I'd be a goner. They'd be like, "You bitch."
After this episode, they're not going to let you in.
Meeting Goatman. If you want any of that, give us a listen and a follow, rating, all those things. Tell your friends. And we still don't have a little tagline for the outro, which I feel like we can also take suggestions for everybody.
I think this outro, I know that we mentioned it earlier, but we want to shout out Marina for the really cool art that we have now. So
yes. Her Instagram is @quill.in.coffee, I think. It's linked in my Instagram, or my Instagram. It's not my Instagram, but the show's Instagram. So, and she's tagged in that photo too. So you guys, please commission art from her and send the praise from us, because we were so lucky. But yeah, huge thank you to her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's hoping that next episode I win. Because this is a little criminal. And that's about it, I guess.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate the support. We hope you learned something. And kind of on theme with today's episode, stay weird.
Yeah, stay weird. Stay spooky, and go chase a cryptid. And that's it. Bye.